Chief Homesteading. I'm in the bee yard today, and today we're going to try to do some splits. I don't know how many splits I can make because this year I started off with just swarms. They are big swarms, mind you, but they were just swarms. If you've watched my channel for the last little while, you've seen that I've struggled to keep the bees alive in the winter. My climate is pretty harsh, and on top of it, it's probably something I'm doing. So I've been working my way through that. But this year, it kind of gave me a little bit of a second chance, and I didn't have to pay for it. I got 5 swarms so far this year. 2 of them have been here long enough that I really think I have a chance to split them. So that is super. Today, we'll take a look at the hives. The 2 that were here early in the season, I really haven't looked at them since I made sure they were good after the swarm moved in. So I really don't know where they're at, but I'm really hoping that I can do some splits. So let's go. So what I'm using are homemade 3-frame Nucs. I would have liked if they were 4-frame, but you know what? A 2x6 fits perfectly for the end, and you can only really fit 3 frames in there. So I made those a few years ago. They stand up really well, and that's what I'm going to use to put the splits in. Okay, so the bee yard in here, we got another nuke that I left here. So this hive here, we're going to go through and see if we can make some splits on. I'm hoping if they did well, there shouldn't be an issue. This one, they just moved in, and we'll take a look at them, but there's no way I'm going to be splitting them. And this hive over here, we're going to take a look at, and they are very active. So let's get ready. And by the way, I have to come in here and clear the brush, but I really don't want to disturb them too much with the trimmer and get them all riled up. So we're just going to do the splits, and then I'll come back later and just cut down the brush. Hey, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're prepared when you start making splits. Some of these boxes have frames in them, some don't. I'm going to go through them, make sure I at least have empty frames in them, because if I remove a frame out of that hive, I have to put an empty frame back in. So it's really important that you have your nuke boxes filled with empty frames instead of running around in a panic when you have the hive open and you're trying to do the splits. All that is going to cause the bees to get way overstressed, and there's no need for it. So I'm going to go through the nukes. You're going to make sure that there's frames in all of them. There's screws for the lids, so I can easily put them in, close the lid, and it's ready to go. Okay, there is frames and a mouse nest. That's what happens when you have an environment. That one's ready to go. That one has some in it. So we want to make sure all the nuke boxes have frames in them and screws. I don't have screws in this one, so we're going to have to grab screw there. Okay, so there you go. I have 5 full nuke boxes, but I highly doubt that I can make 5 splits out of this, but it's better to be prepared to have too many of them ready to go. If you want to smoke them, it's a good time to come in here and smoke all the hives. I don't know, I may regret this, but I'm not going to smoke them. I think they're going to be fine. First thing I do is get something so I can set my box that I'm inspecting on here. And nothing worse than leaning over all the time. I think make sure that you actually have it a decent height. It makes it a whole lot easier to go through the hives. I'm going to put another lid on the ground, so when I'm done with it, I'm going to set the box that I'm done with on there. Make sure you have a queen catcher, a hive tool, and I'll have my cordless drill handy, just so I can screw down the lids of my nuke boxes and all that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that you prepare in advance so you're not running around. This just looks like the honey super. I threw an extra honey super on top, and I don't think they actually moved up into it yet. And we're gonna look down on the next one. I mean, be careful, the queen could be in that one, but chances are the queen's farther down. This was a deadout that the swarm moved into, so you can see the wax moth larvae. Those were long dead from last year. We'll keep going through. We'll try to find the queen and take a look at how much brood they made. I don't see any eggs there yet. They've been really hammering in the nectar. It's awesome. Set this one over here. Okay, I'm looking for the queen. You know, I could very well just look past her and don't see her. Okay, so those are emerging brood. That's 2 frames. 3 frames. Four frames of brood, looking for the queen. Don't see her there. I want to find the queen so I can put her in a safe location, and then we can do the split. I don't like doing splits when I can't find the queen, because you can end up taking the queen with you. Okay, so there's a queen cell here, so I don't know what it's doing. So we're gonna throw this in here. I don't see a queen yet. I see eggs, which is hard to show you guys. Eggs, but no queen. So we're gonna throw this in this box. And we're gonna throw the lid on it to keep as many of the bees in as we can. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the queen. Okay, the queen's in there and safe. And we are going to knock some frames of bees into here. We need to build up the population of that hive. Knock this one in. You need to have enough population to build good queen cells. We're going to put this back in. Since I know the queen's not in here, we're gonna try to get some frames of bees down here. Okay, so and you want to make sure that you have some of them that are out of brood frames, because that's where the nurse bees come from. Okay, that's good enough. We're gonna put this all back. We're gonna release the queen into the hive. There she goes. We're gonna put and this one back on. This is heavy. Inner cover, lid, and we are gonna leave this one be. Kind of hard to show you guys how I do this, but basically I go through the hive, try to find the queen. If I can isolate the queen, I isolate her so I know she's safe, and I'm not going to pack her in one of the nuke boxes. Sometimes I just haven't found the queen. She's hiding or whatever and you can't find her. And what you can do is kind of put all the nuke boxes together, put the hive together, and then listen. The one nuke box that's the quietest and is not humming loudly is probably the one with the queen in it, because a queen right hive is nice and quiet. And even in about half an hour, you'll see that the queen's probably in that nuke. So I've done that sometimes. So in the nukes, I have one frame of honey to sustain the small nuke. I have one frame of mixed brood, if possible, cap brood, open brood, and some eggs is ideal. And then an empty frame. And make sure that you have lots of bee population in that box. So shake a few frames in and make sure you don't shake the queen in. Close them up. Keep them in the shade and till you're done all your splits, and then take it to another location. If you leave them in the same yard, you're going to lose lots of bees, and then it gives it less chance of them actually surviving. So I'm going to take these to the other bee yard, and they're far enough away that they're just not going to come back to the original hive. I have one more hive to make splits, and then we can head to the other bee yard. So there you go. I ended up with 6 nukes, good healthy nukes, and we're gonna have to come back and go through all the hives after let them settle down for a little bit, and get them down to 2 brood boxes and a honey super, and then we'll go from there. If they keep building, if they build a whole lot in a year, we'll just keep putting the supers on, but I kind of want to get their core brood chamber established. With right now, they're just kind of everywhere. So I did get 6 nukes, and we're gonna pack them up and take them to the other bee yard. So I'm at my other bee yard now, and I only had one beehive survive the winter. The other one, I just left the stack of equipment in the bee yard, and it really wasn't even that high, and I want to show you what happened. So this is the stack of equipment I left in the bee yard in the spring, and there is a lot of bees going in and out with pollen, so a swarm definitely moved in there. This is the hive that survived the winter. It really wasn't that strong. So we're gonna have to take a look and see how they are doing. But man, there's a lot of bees going in and out there now. to get in here with my trimmer and clean up the area. I don't want, number one, I don't want ticks. And number two, it's just a little bit cleaner and easier to work when you're trying to make splits, when you don't have brush and weeds growing everywhere. So okay. Okay, so there. And then man, it's hard to find the queen, but we're gonna keep going on. I'm not gonna worry about trying to find the queen yet. Don't see her. No. Oh, there's the queen right there. We're gonna get her. Okay, so there you go. We're gonna put her in a safe place right there. Then this looks like eggs. Man, this is incredible, guys. I am amazed, actually. They're okay, so I am truly amazed. Okay, so this one right in here. Okay. The bees are incredibly agitated, so I'm gonna have to finish up my hive inspections. This one here I went through and I got 4 splits out of, which were awesome. This one here was so aggressive I just couldn't get into it, and they're just anytime I come near the hive, so I'm gonna have to let them cool down a bit and get in there another day. Okay, so they are absolutely after me, so I'm done my splits for the day. I'm gonna head home and try not to get too many of these bees in the truck. So you guys have a good one.